Hey everybody, welcome to AcroYoga with Laura and Stu. I'm Stu and this is Laura, and we're really excited to share with you some videos that we've been working on all about AcroYoga to be able to build the community and just introduce new people to the practice that we really love and has changed our lives.
Some basic terminology to keep in mind is the role of the base in the flyer. The base is the foundation and the support of the flyer. These roles are not gender specific either. We switch off pretty often during our practice. So play around and have fun.
Yeah, and we have a ton of new videos on the way to really build and expand starting from the ground up. So if you're interested in any of this, be sure to like and subscribe down below and check out all the new content that's coming your way. Thanks and have fun. In this video, we'll be focusing on bird pose. This is really the fundamental L-basing pose that most people begin with as they start their AcroYoga journey. Often this is something that we do when we're a kid and we call it airplane, have fun messing around in the living room. To warm up, we'll do a pose called ski jumpers where the flyer stands about a foot and a half away from the base's pelvis and can lean into the base's feet. The flyer wants to stay nice and engaged in their core to keep their whole body steady while the base plays around with bending their legs and receiving the weight of the flyer. This pose really helps the base get a feel for receiving the weight of the flyer as they transition before pressing up to bird. And it helps the flyer get a sense of what it means to actually hold their body when they start flying. Try a few rounds of this just to get the feel for it. 5 to 10 times is good, but feel free to take as many rounds as you'd like. Once you've warmed up with the posture, you can try playing around with bird pose now. So the base wants to have the balls of their toes at the top of the flyer's hips and parallel with one another. They want their arms nice and straight with their fingers pointing out to provide a nice base for the flyer. And then the flyer can stay nice and straight as the base receives the flyer's weight and presses up into bird. Ideally, the base wants to have their legs stacked in a nice straight line. So often there'll be a lot of tension in the hamstrings, so you can actually roll up a mat and place it under the sacrum to help in the meantime while you develop the hamstring flexibility. Once you get comfortable here, you could try playing around by removing one hand at a time. No need to rush anything, really get a feel for it. Maybe you just stay with both hands as you get started. The flyer can keep their chest and their legs lifted, holding their shape, while the base can play around with the movement in their ankles to actually help lift the chest of the flyer up if it feels like there's too much weight in the front. Just make sure to communicate and feel out what works. So once you start to feel comfortable with bird pose, you can add a little bit of spice into the mix here. So a way to make it a little bit more challenging would be to add leg presses for the base. So you can return back into bird. The base can squat press the flyer, and the flyer can be in control by bending their elbows to help maintain pressure and just move at a level that's comfortable to them. Make sure to communicate and move at a pace that's right for you both. When learning this new skill, things will be quite wobbly, so make sure to take your time and just bring a playful attitude and approach. Once you start to familiarize yourself with bird, you could try out another exercise called Swivels. So here you'd need free bird with no hands and really start to work on the stability as you move from side to side. So you'll allow the feet to twist, shifting from side to side. The flyer maintains their shape throughout. Take your time and move really slow here, because at first, as you explore the side to side of this movement, you'll feel a lot of different stretches and a lot of new stability muscles working quite hard. This is a trickier move, so if you find this is a little bit too difficult for the moment, go back and practice the original parts of the video that we broke down until you build up the stabilizers to be able to explore. This final bird exercise is one of my personal favorites. It's called the walk down. So from bird, the flyer would maintain their shape and stay in nice solid form, and the base would slowly walk 1 foot down at a time. Make sure when you're in the knee area to avoid direct contact on the knees. You might make it down as far as we do, sometime down to the toes, but be gentle and play around. Maybe it's just 1 step down the leg as you get going, and build that progression up over time, and try and walk your way back up as well. For the base, remember not to grab the flyer's hands. This pose does get quite strenuous and it's tempting to want to squeeze their hands, but you want them to be able to fall freely. If you found any value in this video, please like and subscribe below. We have tons of new content coming your way in the next weeks and months, so please join us on the journey. Thanks again.